talk about gear, because you know I don't settle for anything less than the best. Look, when I'm in the gym, I need clothes that are going to move with me, not against me. That is why I choose Barbell apparel, and it doesn't matter if I'm throwing out weights or I'm headed out for the night. I look good, I feel good, and I perform even better. Now here's the scoop. Barbell Apparel's annual hoodie sale is on right now, and you don't want to miss this. If you spend over $99, they are going to give you a free athletic fit performance hoodie. We're not talking about just any hoodie. There are 7 brand new designs engineered for athletes just like us. These are comfortable, they're stylish, and they're built to perform. But here's the catch. These hoodies sell out every single year. So if you want in on this action, you gotta move fast, stock up on your favorite barbell gear, snag that free hoodie, and don't look back. Remember, when they're gone, they are gone. So get after it. Go to barbellapparel.com today to upgrade your wardrobe and snag the best hoodie in the business. Or you want to make it real easy? Just click on the link. I put it below. Sugar Sean O'Malley is still the biggest draw in the sport. Do you agree? Now, one thing about it, and guys, we wouldn't just know. We could debate it. And we're good enough with the information that we have, and a lot of that is just what we feel right in our heart, right? Like we got our thumb on top of this. It'd be good enough to have a meaningful discussion. There was, coming in to Sphere Card, there was only one person name that kept coming up when people would lead into a show and or a comment, something like I'm doing now, and say, Sugar Sean O'Malley, sport's biggest draw. And that person was Alex Pereira, who, by the way, is a very big draw. But Alex Pereira had 2 incredible opportunities this year. And one was UFC 300, which just historically is going to be a very massive gate. And the next was International Fight Weekend, which replaced, in Dana White's own mind and heart, the largest show that we used to do, or at least one of, was Super Bowl weekend. And that has been replaced with International Fight Weekend for just one of the biggest events of the year, something you could really look forward to. One year, Dana combined UFC 200, right? He's only had 3 of the 100 shows. He combined 200 with International Fight Weekend. This year, he was going to do International Fight Weekend combined with the return of Conor McGregor. So Alex Pereira had just 2 massive opportunities. We fully agree. And he did a massively outstanding job, not just with the fight. I'm talking with the market. I'm talking about from being a draw. I admit it, and I agree. Those are also in the fight capital of the world. And the highest of them did 15 and change. Sean O'Malley did 100 grand under 15 million, and he did it in Miami. Of which not only is not the fight capital of the world, it's not where he or his opponent were from, and he still did 14 and change at the gate. You then come into this last weekend, and Sean O'Malley now holds, in front of everything Conor McGregor has done, in front of everything anybody has done, number one. The number one spot in the history of live gates now goes to O'Malley. And that's why I'm getting those numbers, just to tell you. I don't dispute that Pereira is very meaningful and has done some great stuff. I'm letting you know, when we came down to that, and you got to fall on one side or the other, why I and others fell on the side of O'Malley. That's a quote I got from Conor, by the way. I was interviewing Conor. When I do interviews, which is very rare, but when I do them, they're my questions, whatever those might be. This one was different. I had the questions handed to me. They were handed to me, hey, sit down and ask Conor this. And one of the things I asked him was about he and I. His ability to go out and entertain as a way of bringing people in. My ability to go out and entertain as a way of bringing people in. And Conor was very sweet to me, and he said, I have always enjoyed you over the years, but numbers don't lie. And nobody sells like McGregor. It's exactly what he said. And I remember when he said it. I knew what my line was going to be because it was written down on a card in front of me. I didn't know what his was going to be. And I remember when he said it. I remember thinking just for a second, I looked back at him and I said, you're right. That is how the interview ended. So, we've got O'Malley, okay? Now, there is a very fine line. I mean, it is the finest of lines. It can be walked, but it's a very fine line where you can remove yourself from that position with your words. If you say, I am retired, just for example, they will go into, and they'll put out the new rankings at 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. You won't be in them, even if you are clearly the best. If everybody doing the rankings knows you can beat every man alive, if you say the words, I'm out, you will be out. Just for example. And to be someone's favorite fighter, to be the top draw, a massive misunderstanding is that when that athlete leaves, those fans leave. I watched this happen. Biggest star was Randy Couture. He left. What are you going to do? They'd ask Dana this. What are you going to do? Biggest star. I'm going back. Tito Ortiz. And there's something with WFA, and this is way back in 2005. Dave, what are you going to do? Fast forward the tape a little bit. It's Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey, and nothing else mattered. And when Conor was leaving and Ronda was leaving, what are you going to do? We're going to have to turn the lights off on this place. It's over. And Dana would be so calm, and he would try to answer these dum-dums for the 100th time as he's spending more, hiring more, growing office spaces, playing the venue game, putting more down payments. He's out there spending money because he knows that the fan doesn't go when the fighter goes. The fan moves to somebody else. I can just use myself as an example. Frankie Edgar is my favorite fighter. When Frankie Edgar stopped fighting, my time doesn't end. Right? I'm still part of it. So it transfers. But when it transfers, it transfers. And I only share that with you because Sean O'Malley has come out. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that faced the music. He's already done an hour podcast, by the way, guys. And it was his own, which means if he wanted to call in sick or not show up at all, which is what I think every guy has ever done that's been in the spot, but he did it, he showed up. But one of the things that he said is, not going to fight for a while. 9, 10 months, maybe a year, it's going to be a while. Now, that's not that long. That's not bad news. I'm just sharing it. I'm just bringing a point to you that when you remove yourself for 5 months, for 6 months, for a year, when you remove yourself, it has a massive domino effect. And your fans are not going to jump ship. They're going, okay, hey, I heard what he said, and hey, take a deep breath and figure out what's going to go. But the domino effect is all of a sudden those press conferences, and all of a sudden those signings, and all of a sudden those cameos, and you're sitting in the front row and get put on TV in your cool outfit, and the crowd goes crazy. Like, all of a sudden, those go away and somebody else gets them. And all of a sudden, the rankings, and it's a little bit of an argument, where should he be? And all of a sudden, human nature kicks in, which is, well, I don't really need to put him at 3 if he's not fighting anyway. Here, let's just put him at 6. And then a few weeks later, everybody has forgotten that those rankings were adjusted because of a comment made on an internet show when a guy is down, not to mention exhausted because of the travel and everything else that involved with it, right? All of it, it's just he's number 6. And I share with you, where does Sean go now is such a fascinating conversation. I don't know if you remove championship clause, and Sean's no longer champion. This doesn't need to be done or discussed. His contract, boom, it's automatic. Championship God is gone. I don't know if you remove championship clause, if you're going to get him, who's got 2 record gates this year, including the all-time, to come out and do a main event. And this has been tested before, and it stays quiet, it's behind the scenes, but I'm sharing with you, there have been guys said, I don't care what that contract says. You want me to fight on this night? There's 11 fights. You put me 1 through 10, we can put the phone down right now. But if you want me for number 11, which is 5 rounds, and there's a lot that comes with it, you're going to reactivate my championship clause. I'm just sharing for you. It's part of the fascination of this, because you want to know something else? If you put Sean O'Malley in 3-round fights, if you bring him back to that, which is the other possibility, I don't know that there's anyone out there that could touch him. I mean, I don't even know that my partners at DraftKings or you guys. It is completely different. If Sean O'Malley was to fight Merab just on this last Saturday, his skills, this guy's skill, but all of a sudden we find out it was going to be for 3 rounds. So now Sean doesn't have some of these other things in his head. I mean, I'm just sharing for you. Like, it's a very different thing. You want to figure out how you get Sean O'Malley back to title status. If that's your goal, right? And it's most certainly all that he's thinking about. You want to find out how to do that? You've got to have enough information. And if part of that information that you have is that you're going to do contenders matches, you're going to do co-main events, and you're going to do them for 3 rounds, he's going to return in a very short period of time. Do you want to bring in wrestlers? Do you want to keep on doing that? Do you want to look at the styles? Do you want to do the match that really, just on paper, which is Sandhagen? But they can be able to do Sandhagen if it's going to be 10 months to a year from now. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a number of people that are in this spot. But the mere fact that we're sitting here and discussing it and breaking it down and putting on, well, is it 3 rounds or is it 5 rounds? Is it going to return? Does he have the championship clause? The mere fact that we can do that for a guy, yeah, I think he's still the biggest draw. Yeah, I do. I believe whatever Sean O'Malley does next, if you want to just do something reasonable, grab somebody out of the top 10, match him up. Right now, just in your mind, Sean O'Malley versus so-and-so, and you just want to put that on paper right now. You're just guessing. You're using your heart. We're using our thumb on the pulse. Take O'Malley, anyone that you want to do at that top 10, and you do a juxtaposition to your own guess, again, your own thumb on the pulse of Pereira versus Roundtree. I think that you very quickly come to my side and realize he is still the biggest draw in the sport. And that isn't unique. It would be odd in boxing. There are guys that got around that. Canelo is one of them. Canelo has lost. There was always something. It was a weight. It was a who really cared. And it still kept him on top. But I believe Conor McGregor has lost his last 5 fights. Is that right? There's something about a 5 in Conor. He hadn't won in 5 years, or he's only won 1 in 5 fights. There's something about a 5 in there. And it is something that's different in the sport. And one thing that Sean O'Malley will learn at some point, I won't even bother telling him now because he won't understand it now. Right now, oh my, there's nothing more important, and this is everything. This is all that matters. But when you get out of it, you're going to have a lot more life out of it than you have in it. There's only 2 things that are real, and that is the money and the miles. And if you can save some miles and make that money now, right? If you're going to do 5 fights left in this lifetime, you could stretch it out over 3 or 4 years. You could. Or you could bang them out one after the next right now. You save some miles and the money is the same. And I'm only sharing that. I've seen guys wait. Colby Covington, I have seen him wait. Jon Jones. Jon Jones is known for years he was only going to do 2 more fights. And he took a 3-year break before he did the first of those fights. I mean, I'm just sharing with you. I don't know that Jon would regret that. But you'd have to concede back to me that I'm still right. If we're doing 2 fights, the money's the same. Boy, there's a lot of agony you're saving yourself. And it's something to be considered. And to judge a guy right when he's done, he's had his heart ripped out, he's tired, he's fighting just to be there, he's depressed, and he's trying to hide it from the world. No, of course not. Of course he can change his mind. Not to mention he doesn't even know what he's turning down at this point. Eventually, he will get a call from Dana with what the idea is, and it's in that moment that he will decide if he's waiting 9 or 10 months. But those words matter. It's a fine line. If anybody can walk it, it's Sean. If you were to ask me who the biggest draw in this sport is, my answer right now is the same as my answer was last week. The guy with the largest, most recent gate record, Sean O'Malley.